Welcome to this channel. So yesterday I shared a video on the Kung Fu training has to map into sports science. Wing Chun training need to know the breathing content of the training and need to map into sports science, or else there is no future, because in today's world, martial art training, fitness training, all are based on sports science. It has a clear goal and it is clearly engineered in details scientifically so that whoever practice it get result. So your Wing Chun practice, your Kung Fu practice has to take that direction, or else it will simply not survive, because nobody is going to buy snake oil anymore. Okay. Now, so after I share that YouTube, I got a questions from a 10-year-old Wing Chun friends. Okay, so this Wing Chun friend practice Wing Chun like 10 years or more. So he asked me, what is lifting anus for? And I asked him back, what is lifting anus? How to do it? What does it do? How is it considered proper practice of lifting anus? And I got a reply. No one has told me about it other than to do it. Well, reading that give me a sense of urgency to share with you what I'm going to share with you today. What I'm going to share with you today is the truth of traditional Chinese Kung Fu. No grandmaster in this world, disregard of whom, can violate this. Okay? So I would like all of us here on know what is the proper thing to do. Or else, what good is it we just sit in the same boat and everybody sing? So it is this serious. It is a disaster now. We need to fix it now, today. Okay? Or else it is a disaster. So disregard of what type of Kung Fu you practice. A proper Kung Fu practice always have a functional training, 4 aspects: momentum handling, 3-dimensional momentum handling, and momentum combinations training. It go level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. You like it or not, whether you are a grandmaster or whoever, it doesn't matter. It has to follow this. This is writing in the chapter 14 of General Qigong, and now it has been translated into English. So our Kung Fu friend, Wing Chun brother and sister, it is here. It is as it is. Okay? So that's what it is. Don't get away from that. The problem of all this nonsense, fantasy, internal Qigong, and all this nonsense coming in, or lifting anus nonsense coming in, is because somebody is clueless on this. So guess what happened? The functional training, in the functional training content, that is, for example, this lifting anus stuff here. Okay, lifting anus stuff here within the functional training. And Another thing I want to share with you today is something people consider like internal magic, like secret in martial art, which is the Heng Ha breathing. Okay, you heard many internal people say this is a Heng Ha Qigong or whatever. Just type into the Google it or in the YouTube. Everybody talk about Heng Ha, Qigong, and so forth, so forth. Now, those are trouble when one have no idea what is it. Okay, so this is a functional training stuff, which is within the functional training. And when nobody have any idea or people are clueless on what it is, but they just heard about the name, guess what? People start to speculate to make it some kind of magical ultimate kung fu. Okay, such as I mentioned just now that if you practice some kinds of martial art, you want to go internal, people say, you need to lifting your anus. And then, or, even further, they say you need to practice this Heng and Ha breathing. Okay, those are Qigong, top Qigong. Well, first, we need to be really clear. This stuff is only a part of the functional training. This is the entire Chinese martial art. If one do not have this, don't call it traditional Chinese Kung Fu. Don't call it, because it is not. It is some kind of partial stuff. Okay? Now let's look at this the lifting anus and Heng Ha. What is it? Okay, this is a really basic stuff. Once I tell you today, let's stop this nonsense once for all. Okay, this nonsense of internal art, internal qigong, magic power is due to people don't know what it is. They never develop it. They don't know what, how, why. They never develop it. So as soon as they give themselves a name grandmaster, so they can free to speculate or define whatever heck they want. Okay. And so as today we see people is calling it internal and chi and so forth, but it never give you result. Well, just ask those people who have done this lifting anus for 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years, or whatever years. What is the result? What is it? Like I asked this Wing Chun friends for 10 years. Okay. So what is lifting anus? So today I like to tell you what it is. Okay. What is the lifting anus and this Heng Ha thing? It's so simple. You only have to take 1 second to know what the heck I'm talking about. Then you know exactly. Here on, you are never confused. Because my job is to provide solution to solve issue. Okay. Lifting anus is just a mean to describe pelvic floor muscle handling. Pelvic floor muscle handling. So lifting anus is just to a term, a words to describing on handling of the pelvic floor muscle, a pelvic floor muscle. Okay. So this pelvic floor muscle. So the Chinese, some I know because it is just a term, somebody will call it lifting anus, somebody will call it using the term hui yin. Okay, hui yin, lifting hui yin. Disregard of it is called lifting anus or lifting hui ying. It is just mean to handle this pelvic floor muscle properly. And somebody get into this tucking tailbone nonsense. What is that? Same thing. All this tucking tailbone, this lifting anus, lifting hui ying, it just mean the pelvic floor muscle handling. There is nothing mysterious about it. Okay. Now, is this tucking tailbone, this lifting anus, this lifting hui ying such a deep Chinese ancient secret or whatever, like the magic will give you the power? Of course, this is not. Today, you can get all these tools for pelvic floor muscle training. Okay? And if you train with this, for sure you can get result because it is for rehab. Okay? It's medical stuff. So, if we don't know about this, of course, this is scientific, right? If we don't know about this, we get into this lifting anus, tucking tailbone, lifting hui ying, where nobody know what it is. You can go speculate like this friend after 10 years. Well, people ask me to do lifting anus, but what it is, nobody knows. So if you don't know, how do you know what you're supposed to do? How do you know what kind of result you need to have? So what are you doing? Just because of somebody said that this is ancient Chinese secret, then you do it? So stop on those Wing Chun 以及 Kam Yong Ma on tucking your tailbone and the lifting anus, those kind of stuff. If you want to know exactly what it is, just go read on the pivot floor, the pivot floor muscle training. Read in the medical journal, so you know exactly what it is. Okay. So to the minimum, to the basic, you will never go wrong. You never go wrong. Okay. Because now it is scientifically explained and you know exactly what it is you're doing. Now, like as this Heng and Ha, where you can read or you can hear or you can see in the YouTube or in any other videos on this super Taiji Qigong or what internal Qigong. Well, everybody is using this. So what is Heng? What is Heng? Let's get this clear now. If you watch the Western boxing, Western boxer friend of us, for sure I need to have a mouth guard doing Western boxing. When I want to exhale, what do I do? When I strike, I want to exhale, what I do? What do I do? That is Heng. Heng simply means that you exhale with your nose. Okay? So what is Ha? Ha is simply exhale with your mouth. Ha. So you can see this in everyday life, in Western boxing, in the yoga class, in when people want to lift heavy weight, they use their mouth to breathe because there's human instinct. This is So what is this qigong and this deep all this kind of stuff? What is it? So again, I share with you here. It is just some simple, really basic functional training stuff. Like this Heng Ha, you don't take 1,000 years to guess what it is. I just share with you within 1 minute, you know exactly what is Heng Ha. And for this lifting anal stuff, within a minute, you know exactly what it is. And after you know what it is, you need to train your body. And then, hey, this is a functional training. You need to go to the four aspect, get to the momentum, and get to the combo. It's not standing here. You get a million people keeping talking about lifting anus, have your mind power and tucking your tailbone and this hung and ha, but nobody know what it is, and you can speculate for decades. For Wing Chun, 60 years now, 60 years past, not solving out whatever the Western sports science can solve for you in 5 minutes. So how is something like this is going to stay? Well, of course, many people don't like what I'm talking about, but so be it, okay? And again, I'm saying this, I'm not blaming on whoever there create those things. I'm just saying that right now, it's time to change. Because whatever in the past 100 years, many Chinese have no educations, they have no real Kung Fu training. So they thought, oh, I heard about this Heng and Ha. So, based on their imagination, they do whatever it is. And there's all this tucking tailbone stuff. And of course, this pelvic floor muscle handling got to do your breathing, and this has got to do your breathing. But yet, you see, nobody talk about breathing in Xiu Lim Tao practice. And even the internal guy, okay, you can see many talk about the Qigong, but they don't talk about the breathing. How is the proper? Everybody create their stuff. Now, face it in the reality in the West today. You want to have this Heng Ha training and this pivot floor muscle handling while you're breathing. I got scientific instrument which I can measure. Okay? I get scientific instrument which I can measure. I get scientific instrument which I can measure, exactly know what the heck it is, what kind of result I should have, and at what condition I must not touch this kind of stuff. So you still want to go with this lifting anus, this Heng Ha, without really know what it is, and then just create your own internal chi or either special techniques and every nonsense. This is a reality. Welcome to the real world for the breathing training today. If your Wing Chun do not have the breathing training, and you know that breathing training is a must even in the ancient Shaolin writing, now you know how big the problem is. Okay? So finally, I like to tell you, this is the level, the map. It's not me. It is based on ancient. All this internal stuff today is misleading, where people have no idea what is going on and then start to using a Chinese term to create their stuff. And then that starts snowball after it become a propaganda market it becomes so big a thing that this is Chinese Kung Fu. Okay? In fact, this is something which is nobody know what, why, how, and it has a wrong priority because this is not the priority for one to develop martial arts. Martial art is this, and this is very basic beginning stuff. So this is what I like to share with you today. And of course, many people will not like this video, but you like it or not, this is Western sports science and Western medicine. You like it or not. So that's why I keeping asking people, are you sure that your Chinese internal Kung Fu is more advanced than sports science? Well, today I just proved to you. The sports science have much more in-depth than any claim of such internal Kung Fu today. Okay? Face it, this is reality. Whether you want future or you don't want the future, this is really clear. And if people want to keep fantasy and daydreaming, there's their freedom. But for those who really want to learn, who really have invest in, get to the proper path, and then you can get the result and get to your goal, arrive at your goal. So the notions is to share with you this. Again, I'm saying that I'm not blaming the past generation grandmaster or whatever. I give them empathy because most Chinese is not educated in this way, and because they don't understand it, they just have the term, they create their own stuff. So we cannot blame them because of their situation. Today, I'm sitting in Silicon Valley with all those gadgets, with all science. So we know what it is. So we don't step on people who is not as lucky as us. But for the future, it has to change because we like it or not, we are facing this. Okay?